And that didn't help, did it? Oh, I know why. I had another program running. Oh, shoot. All right, let me switch to a different one here. Oh, you can hear now? Or you could hear? Okay, hang on. All right. How about now? Can you guys hear? Can you hear? Actually, I can test myself. All right, that's working. Oh, you can hear now? Or you could hear? Man, this is a mess. Okay, hang on. I want to get my latency down too. This is the first big problem we've had all semester. How about now? Can you guys hear? Can you hear? Actually, I can test myself. All right, that's working. Oh, you can hear now? Or you could hear? A mess. Okay, hang on. I want to get my latency down too. This is the first big problem we've had all semester. How about now? Can you guys hear? Okay, my hope is that this is correct now. I'm not seeing it on my monitor over here. But it's working, so I think so. We good? You guys tell me if we're good right now. I'm waiting to hear. So then make sure that we're good as far as that goes. Otherwise, I'm probably going to have to start the stream over again. All right, good. I'm good. Good. All right. So let me let me summarize what I'm talking about. Okay. So because none of what I said is correct. All right. So exam 2, I have all but question 9 and 10 to grade, and that should only take me a little while after class. So that'll be done tonight before I go to bed. And so for the rubric, and I'll come up with the rubric correctly. Let me talk about average, because that's actually a problem. Because average can mean at least 3 different things: mean, median, mode. And so I'm looking at mean here. The problem is we don't have divide by, and also we don't have multiplication. So since we don't have either of those two things, well, we can fake multiplication, but we can't fake division. Well, you can, but it's... Let me back up. It isn't that hard. But what we want to do is I want you to get the floor of the mean, or the mean value rounded down to the next lowest. So if my total was, I typed in 8 numbers and the total was 75, then the answer there would be 9. Because 72 goes in, right? That'd be 9 times. And then there's a remainder of 3, but we don't care about that. We're just going to drop the 3. So that's what I'm asking you guys to do. Hopefully that makes sense. I'll change the wording on this. Okay, so then I started talking about rubric. And I was thrashing about a bit, so it's probably okay that you didn't hear me. So finding the mean is going to be worth I'm actually going to probably just make that one worth 12 points. Just because that one's actually going to be the hard part of the work here. Repeatedly asking for integers, that'll be worth 9. Stopping at a negative is worth 6. Printing out the total at the end is also worth 6. And then the messages will be worth 9. That gets us to 42 points out of the 50. And 5 points is for aesthetics. So that is what the program looks like. So like what the code looks like. So do you have your things lined up nicely? So formatting. So just make sure that it looks halfway pretty. It's really hard to make it look real pretty because it is assembly code, and so it's a little harder to do that. Then it's readability of the code. That's really the focus of that. And those are discretionary, and it's really hard to say what those points are good for. They're kind of 10% of it's me just looking at kind of style. And that's probably the best way to say it. And then I've got 3 more points I've got to stick in somewhere. So I'll figure out where that is. And maybe that'll just be that it runs to completion. So I think that actually runs to completion. So did I put in here? Yeah, make sure you turn it into programming as a text file. I can't force you to do that like I can with the assignments, and I should have done it for the exam, but I didn't. But okay, so yeah, and the sooner you get working on this, the better. So that's that. I'll get that rubric done. Okay, so let's see if we can't. Before I'm done here, but if we get done with the RPN calculator, because we kind of changed the definition a little bit. We're not going to do a decoder. We're going to do a calculator on it. Then I'll go over kind of how you can output messages nicely. Okay, we'll experiment with some of that. Okay, so let's open up our file. Upload our decoder 2. Okay, where were we at? Okay, I think we had gotten the add to work. If I remember right. Let's go ahead and run this. 3. That wasn't good. Restart. Okay, assemble. Run. Hexadecimal. No, we want it on Unicode. That's why. 3, 5, plus, and then exclamation is our ending. Now, it printed out as 0. Okay, that's not good. But it does have the 8 here, like it's supposed to. Like we want it to. Okay. Okay, so here's our Opera code. And so continue add. So, we added that back on again. And so then we want to look at doing the same thing we did. Let me get my caps lock on. Subtract our subtraction. So what do we call that down here? Sub. Okay, that's sub. And then skip condition 400. Jump. Continue sub. We'll have to put that continue sub in there. And then jump to sub func. And then here we add sub back in, but this needs to be continue sub, comma, Because I've got some of these longer, I might want to actually go through and make all these tabbed over one more. But I can do that at the end to kind of make things pretty. All right, so now I need to go down here and go sub func. Load num a. Subtract 1 from it. Store num a. Oh yeah, and then subtract 1 again. Store num b. Now we have to be careful how we do this. Well, we can load I num a, subtract I. Ooh, does that not work? There's an add I, right? But there is not a subtract I. That's okay. All right, I'm going to come back in here. Temp x 0. Oh, no, I don't need that. Store temp, load I num b, subtract temp, and then store I num b. I think this is correct. So let me go through this. So I loaded the number just like I did for the add, right? I'm just copying from the add. And then I subtracted 1 from it because I need my, and that's num a is the first, or the second number actually. And so then I subtracted 1 from it and I stored it, and then I subtract 1 again and I store that in num b. So num b should, these two are num a and num b. Num b should be before num a. So that num b is the first one. Is the first that we're going to do. So then we load num a and store that in temp. And then we load num b into the accumulator, and then we're going to subtract whatever we just stored in temp. We're then going to store that value in num b. And we still need to decrement. Oh no, we've already moved our a and our b. So let's see if this works. Let's assemble this. Run. Let's go 5, 3, subtraction. And so what we should see here, right here, is the 5 minus 3. We should see a 2 sitting there. I know what happened. I think. What happened was we messed up because our code is into here. Oh, that sucks. Okay, so let's move this down. So num a and num b, let's move them down so they're far enough down here. Let's move them down to 0a0. Put an a there, put an a there, put an a there. 5, 3, subtraction. Look at that. It put the 2 in there for us. And our num a and num_b are stored right here. There are these two values. Yep. What I'm going to do so I'm going to put that temp here because I want num_a and num_b to be the last two values of the instructions. So it's easy to find them. Okay. All right, so let's try a combination. Let's go 5, 3, 5, 3, 7 plus minus. That gives us a negative number because we said 5 minus 10 plus 3. So the 10 plus 3 gets added together first, and then that gets subtracted from the 5. Oh, and it halted. Oh, that's right, because at the bottom of our function here, we need to do a jump to the loop. Back to the loop. So let's try 7, 3, and 2, and plus and minus. So, and then exclamation point. So 7 minus the 3 plus 2. So 3 plus 2 is 5, and then subtract 7 minus 5 is 2. That's what we got. We're great. Okay. Oh, and I could change this output mode into Unicode. Ooh. We'll see how this goes. Okay. So it looks like we have our addition and our subtraction done. Now we have to do the exact same thing up here. So in our in this, ooh, that's right. Okay, so our continue add goes down here, and that actually starts doing the subtraction stuff. All right, so here, after this, we added the sub back on again. So now we need to subtract multiplication. And then we can skip condition 400. Jump, continue multiplication. Jump, multiplication. Oops. Multiplication, func, and this will be continue multiplication, add multiplication. All right, so now it looks like that I was going to do this to move everything over. I have decided to do it earlier just because my variables are getting too long, or not my variables, my I don't know, what do you call them, the labels, yeah, they're getting too long. Work on my mouse work. There's got to be a faster way. The problem is I can't use the arrow keys. Well, oh, I can. Oh. I just have to make sure to push over first. Okay. Good. Now I have to do my multiplication func. Multiplication func. And it'd be helpful if that was over to the left. Okay, so load num a. Subtract 1. Store num a. You know what I could do? Yeah, see, this has a problem. There's one thing here that it doesn't work. Yeah, that's... Oh! Okay, I do see my audio now in the layout. It changed around the way things are. I don't know what's going on. All right. I'm repeating things, right? This part right here I'm going to repeat for each of them. In fact, all of this. So here's the problem. In some languages, in some assembly languages, we can do a jump to, and then we remember where it is, and so it'll come back. And so when it finishes, we just put end, and then it goes back to where it came from. The problem is we can't do that here. So if we made a jump to something that would do all these steps, that'd be great. But how does it know how to jump back? It doesn't. So we just have to repeat it. That's the kind of bummer part about this. All right, so then we do a subtract 1 again, and then store in num b. Okay, and then load I. Oh, and then, store in, this is num a, load I, num a, yep, and then store in temp, and then we do a load I, num b. Now we don't do a subtraction. What we need to do is a multiplication. Multiplication of temp with what's in the accumulator. All right. Well, we're going to have to go through how that works. So this is going to be a loop, by the way. So load and I here. Subtract the temp. Okay, so then we store it. Store I believe, right? Yep, store I. Num b. And then jump to our loop. Back to the beginning. All right, so this needs to happen. What's the simple way to do multiplication? Well, first off, right, we could just hope for a thing, right? But we're not going to find one. Okay. Well, all we have is an add. So we can just simply say, all right, let's do this the hard way. And I'm going to call this multi, just for now anyways, until I come up with a better idea. Okay. Because we're going to loop on this. So let's actually come down here and go back to jump multi. And then here, what I'm going to do is I want to put something here so that I can jump to it. What should I call this? end multi, comma. Okay. So we've loaded num_b. It's in the accumulator. But I think we need a second. We don't want to do... Well, we could do this indirectly, couldn't we? We could do it indirectly. Yeah, let's not do it indirectly. Let's go down here. Temp2. X. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do... Actually, before I jump into this, so here's the part that's cool, right? Is I don't have to, it just will jump, it'll get into this eventually on its own. So I'm going to store this in temp2. So I don't have to worry about num_a and num_b. They're where they're supposed to be, right? Because that's always what I've done before is I moved back num_a once and num_b twice. And then I'm going to store it in num_b. When I get done, I'm going to store in num_b. So actually... Yep, and I've got that here already in the end of my multiplication. So here, I just need to do this. I'm going to load temp2. And then add temp2. And then store in temp2. And then I need to load temp1, subtract 1, store in temp. Oh, it's not temp2, it's just temp1, isn't it? Or is there 1 and 2? Did I change it? No, I didn't. Okay, so temp is right there. This should be store. So now if temp is 0, so skip condition 400, because that's if it's a 0. I'm going to, if it's a 0, I want to skip my jump back to multi, and then actually I don't need to do anything more. So I think that's good, because if I skip the multi, then I'll just go to the end multi, which will get me out of my loop, because this right here is a loop now. Ow. All right, let's see if it works. So let's just do one that's simple. 2 times 3 should give us a 6. Let's do multiplication here, and then what did we get in here? We got a 0. That's not good. That's a 16. Oh, okay. I just realized the problem that we've got. Yeah. Let me show you what happened. Can I put a breakpoint here? I can. Okay, so that's a breakpoint. Let's go assemble. Let's run this. 2, 3, multiplication. Oh, that's weird. Okay. So it put the 2 and the 3 in here. So here are my temps. 3 and 4. Wait a second. So 3 is the correct one, right? But why did it put a 4 here? Because I took temp2 and I loaded it, and then I added it to temp2. I don't want to add it to temp2. What I want to do is I want to add it to num B. No, num A. Because temp2, no, temp2 comes from num B. All right, let me just do a couple steps here. Subtract 1, store it back in temp. Okay, that came down to 3. That's what we expected. So this is correct so far, but then what happens is on our next loop through here, we're going to load temp2, which is 4, and then we're going to add temp2 to it. So now it becomes 8. Really, it should become 6. And actually, also, when we got here to there, we should subtract 1 from that before we save it back here in temp. Okay. Well, it creates a problem because I need to actually check my... If this is 0, skip condition. If it's 400, so if it's 0, continue, and then jump to end multi. And then on this line here, I need to put a continue. Take that breakpoint off. I'm just doing a click here, by the way. I click there, that means it should pause there. It missed by a couple lines. I'm not exactly sure why that was. Okay, but here, so I found a little bit of a problem here because my counter wasn't decrementing properly. It was 1 too high. So because I'm adding the first 2 together, if the temp value is a 1, we don't need to multiply. We can just, it could be a 0, I suppose. Well, we're going to pretend that zeros don't exist. So here we're going to add I num B. Okay. I think we're good to go now. All right, so let's do 2, 3, multiplication. Okay, didn't store it properly. But it did get the right value. So this is temp2, so store temp2. Load temp, Oh, okay. Before I store num B, I need to load temp2 because temp2 is where we're saving our value. Okay. 2, 3, multiplication. Exclamation point. 6 is where it's supposed to be now here. Num A is correct because that's the next one we're going to put something into, and numB is correct, although numB doesn't never need to be correct. And then these temps only matter as long as I'm inside of something. All right, man, that actually took a lot longer than I was hoping for. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this because the division part, I realize now, I won't be able to do that division part unless I do exactly what you guys have to do for your assignment. So I'm going to leave that for you to figure out how to do that. But I'm guessing you might be able to figure that out. Since we did multiplication, you might be able to kind of figure out how that works. Okay, so let me do a download on this and RPN decoder. Actually, I'm going to call it a calculator. And I want that to be a text file. I'm going to download that. And actually, I want to open it up. I don't want to open it up in that. I want to open it up. Okay, go here to my downloads folder. Come on, you can do that. And because I want to open it up with Notepad. There we go. And it looks pretty good. And at this point, right, since I'm done with this, I'm looking at this, it looks nice, it's formatted decently. And then what I'm going to do at that point is I'm going to go through, I'm going to review some of my variables. Is this exactly what I want these to say? Is it what I really mean them to mean? So, and you might look at this one and it's like, what does that mean? Well, it really means continue. So maybe I'll start fleshing some of these out and making them, I like these. Add func, subfunc, mult func. They make sense to me. This is actually the multiplication function, kind of, because we did some pre-work before we jumped into here. Then the end multi, I guess that one's good. This is the only one I don't like, is the continue. So I might think about changing that one. And I might call this, maybe switch it to like main loop or something like that if I want to go to 8 characters, which I think actually is good. That would be good. So actually, this is a great place to do this because I can edit. Oops. And this is why I wanted to use this. Is there a find and replace? Where is it? Insert copy to convert the comments on comments. I thought it would. And there's a lot of plugins. I've used some pretty cool. I don't have it installed anymore because they changed around. I got a different computer, but I used one that actually parsed XML code. In real time, and it's pretty cool, actually. Oh, and then it would compare to, and it compared them regardless of order. Super neat program. Okay. Yeah, I can't see where there's a find. Well, let's try this. Just there we go. So I want to change loop to main loop. Replace all. Okay, so then I might need to go back in here now and that was it. It's done. Fixed. Oh, that's nice. That's easy. So, okay. I did just capital F, I guess, on that. All right, so this is saved. It's saved on the desktop, so I can go ahead and close that. I'll post that when we're done here. All right. Okay, let's look at this one. Unicode. PTR. Oh, this is formatted terribly, isn't it? Okay. But that's fine. They gave it to us for free, so can't complain too much. So we have a loop here. It loads the PTR, goes down, it does an output. It then loads the next PTR, it adds one to it, and then stores This is PTR's pointer, by the way. So it's exactly what we're doing with num-A and num-B, because it's always used as indirectly. And then we load the PTR directly, we add one to it, and we store the PTR back again. Then we increment our counter, we add one to it, we store the counter. My guess is, the counter is dec 0, 1 is dec 1, words is dec 19. I'm guessing there's going to be 19 characters. Well, let's find out. Alright, let's assemble this, and let's just run it. That looks pretty ugly. Whoa! What's that? Okay, wait a second. So putting everything right on the same line here like this. So this is hello world. Okay, well, let's step through this. Go up here. We loaded it. And then we put out the PTR. So PTR, we need to look at what PTR is. PTR is the address of S, right here. Oh, hey, that's a handy little thing. They didn't show us that, did they? ADR? Nope, doesn't see it. I don't see it. That would have been helpful. Otherwise, because what we did is we took our num-A and num-B and we pushed them way down here. But instead, we could have just left them wherever they are. We could point them at some other value, right? So we could have just said, the array was here, and then start the array there. Okay, so this PTR is the address of S. So in this case, it would be 35. That's decimal, though. So, where's that stored? Oh, we're going to find out here. Add one to it. So it must be 13. Stores there. It's right there. That's our PTR value. All right, so then we've already output it. See, because it loaded. It loads PTR. Why does it load the PTR right away? It shouldn't need to. All right, let's go back to the beginning. So we load the PTR. That's this 12 from right here. And then we load PTR. So it's the value stored there. So that's going to be hex 48. That didn't work. Hex 45. Huh. Oh, I don't know. It must be. Did an output. We've done two outputs here. Let me do an assemble here and do a step. I think it's messing with us. So it starts at 11. That's why. And that'll be 48. So when I load I here, I should get a 48 up there. Yep, I do. And then I get the output that should put the 48 here and the H up there. Good. And then now I'm going to load my PTR, which is 11. So that's sitting there. I add 1 to it. I get a 12. I store the PTR. It goes there. I load the counter. So the counter is 0. So it's counting how many words. I loaded the 0 in. This is the counter. Then I add 1 to it, and then I store it back in there, right there. Good. And then I subtract words. So words is deck 19. So there's 19 words, so I need to subtract 1. So I'm going to subtract the words, and then I'm going to see if it's 0. If it's 0, I'm going to skip the next thing. I'm going to skip my jump back to the loop. Look at that, I'm back to the top. Load the PTR, get the 12, load I. I think we could take this out. So then it grabs the next one, and it's just going to work our way down here. Now, if I'm doing this, one of the things that, and I haven't talked about this yet because I haven't done it. Letter H. And then I can go to my next line. No, letter H. There you go. Just that. Okay. And then, let me back this up and go tab. Letter E. Oh, I didn't want to do that. I want to go down. So, I probably won't want to put the spaces there. Or I could, I suppose. So this allows me to put things in now. And so then these are just special ones that you have to know, because that's past our regular characters. And then says this is ignored. It's not. Is it ignored? So, yep, 21. Remember, 21 is our exclamation point. And then it does a smiley here. And it did 2. And then these 2 are ignored? I guess. I don't know why they're even there then. And then it does, this is a upside down smiley, and then the copyright symbol. And if we remember, if we go back to ASCII table, that's what we want. Go to the second one. I think I like that one better. So if we look here, and we scroll down, we're going to look for that C with a circle around it. There's the @ symbol. And I don't see it there. So let's go back and look here. It says A9. Okay. A9. Oh, this only goes up to F. Oh, look at that. Extended. Go down here. A9. Look at that. There it is in the extended table. So, hey, we're happy about that. You guys could put pounds in and cents in, and there's probably a symbol for euro. Actually, there might not be because it didn't exist back then. You can do all kinds of funny characters. I shouldn't say that they're funny. They're just strange to me. I was reading an article recently today about F1 drivers, Formula One drivers. And one of my favorites is Kimi Räikkönen. And he has several of these characters in his name. So, he's retired now, recently. He is one of the most interesting, don't show it to your grandmother, but he's probably one of the, well, maybe she'll like it, I don't know. He is noted for being a bit eccentric. Eccentric is not the right word. he's interesting on his microphone when he's racing. Yeah, there's one that I remember that's very very good. He's the pit crew or his pit chief is telling or crew chief is telling him, all right, you got to save your tires, and you know he's been racing for 20 years by this point, and he says, I know what I need to do now. Shut up and let me drive. Like, okay. So I think it's kind of a gas listening to him. Very accomplished. Won a championship a while ago, but anyways, okay. So this is why is it just skipping these? Can I wonder if I can look here. Let's see if I can run to get to the. It didn't actually stop there. Why didn't it stop there? All right. So where is that? That's right here, right? Okay. Let's go assemble. Let's just step through it. That's in 01F. So we're going to look for this to get to 01F or 01E. 4, 5, 6. That's 19, 1A, 1B, and C, 1D. Okay, so now it's loading this one, which is the one right before it, which is the second half of our smiley face. So evidently you have to put both of them out there in order to get that to work. Okay, now it stored this back in there. Oh, that was the first part of our smiley face. Here's the second. There's the second part of it. Now we're going to increment that. Good. Okay, so now let's go up here and kind of watch it step by step here. All right, so we are adding one to the counter. So it's E, but E is not 19, right? So 19 actually in hex would be 1-3. So this doesn't evaluate, so it jumps back to the loop, goes back to the beginning. It loads our PTR, which is 1F. It does an output. Or no, it did a load, so it loaded this, and then it does an output. Notice here it didn't put anything. I actually did the output already. And then it goes to this one. So yeah, so those don't evaluate to characters. So now we're past those two here, our two order, byte order. So we're getting to our invert smiley. And it does the first one. Is that the same? So that value is the same as this one. Oh, that's interesting. It's got to be some kind of a sentinel that's telling it the next thing is something different. Now it's looking at this one. There it goes, upside down. And then go to 23. And we've loaded what we want to print. Now we need to print. We're going to go to our output, and there it goes out there. And it's not 19 there. Oh, we haven't incremented our count yet. So we load the count. It's a 1, 2, which is actually 18. And then we add 1 to it. Now it becomes 19. And then we store it. And then we subtract words. But words is Dec 19, which is saved right there. So we subtracted that. Oh, look at that. We get a 0. So now we're going to skip the loop for 0. And we're going to do exactly kind of what we did before. Before we weren't jumping to a halt. We were jumping to a different jump. Good. So it gives you an idea. You can load in the letters in now. Some of these, yeah, you probably just want to load them directly, just like straight down like that. So, but when it says a message, you would want to say something like, you know, that the mean is this, or the floor of the mean is this. The mean rounded down is a certain number. All right. Any questions from either of the people who are in here? If not, I'm going to, I think we'll be done. I don't know if there's anything else to cover here. And then we will, I will do one more on Monday. I'll come up with a new project to look at and work on. And if you have any suggestions, feel free to email me. I will not be doing division. That is for you guys to work on. And I don't know what I'll do. We could actually look at this one. Did I show you guys this one yet? This is in the examples that they list, that are right in the program, so you don't have to do anything. Oh, actually, hey, look at that. Multiplication sitting right here. And it has comments in there. So sometimes, for some things, right, if I want to open up, no, I don't want that. I definitely don't want that open. Ooh, something happened there. When I did that replace, it messed some things up. Ooh, that's not good. Yeah, see, why is it doing that? One, two, three, four. Replace with a tab. Delete that with a tab. That didn't work. That was weird. If I replace the first one, it's replacing them all the way across. Well, that might be nice to do just to make sure that all of my stuff is not too ugly. All right. Well, then I suppose I can open this up in regular. Yeah. See, look at this one. This one's messed up. I don't know why. Oh, I do. I know exactly what's going on. The in Notepad++, my default is 4 spaces for a tab. In this, my guess is it's different. Yeah, see, look, those are spaces there, right? So if I go down here to below Opera, oh, wait, let me go. Yeah, see, it's all the ones that have the tabs in there. that are the ones that are getting offset. Oh, that's weird. Let's close that. Yeah, see, it's got them all messed up now. My guess is I have to. Yeah, I'd have to do something. I have to figure out how to. It's not going to be in here either. No. Yeah, there's got to be a way in Notepad++ to change that, but I'm going to open it in Notepad++, so you can be assured that that's how it's going to look. That's how you'll know what it looks like. So, okay. All right, and we'll look. All right, looks like we don't have any questions. We're done for the night then. All right, I'll talk to you all on Monday, or I'll record a video on Monday. If you want to come, that'd be great. And hopefully you guys are finding this beneficial. So. For the night then. All right, I'll talk